Have you ever had that feeling that you're just constantly playing catch up? Always racing the clock, just barely hitting those deadlines? Well, today we're going to talk about a huge mindset shift that can change all of that. We're going to dig into how you can build a real surplus of time and focus, and how that right there, might be your ultimate shortcut to success.
Seriously, just think about that for a second. We all get the idea of a financial emergency fund, right? It's that safety net, that cushion that saves you when something unexpected happens. It gives you security, it gives you freedom. So, what if you could apply that exact same logic to your single most valuable resource, your time?
And this is what we're talking about, a time emergency fund. Look, this isn't about some magic trick to find more hours in the day. It's a reserve of mental energy and focus that you build up on purpose. This is what lets you handle that last minute crisis from your boss, not with a wave of panic, but with total calm. And maybe even more important, it's what frees you up to say yes to that amazing career opportunity that you'd otherwise be way too buried to even think about. Okay, so how do you actually start building this fund? Well, it's not about penny pinching minutes here and there. It's a real investment strategy for your focus. We're calling it the CEO mindset. And trust me, this is the engine that's going to grow your time fund from nothing into a seriously powerful asset. This slide, man, it just lays it all out, doesn't it? It shows the two completely different worlds we can live in. Over on the left, you've got the reactive mindset. And let's be honest, that probably looks pretty familiar, right? The constant cramming, always putting out fires. But on the right, that's the goal. That's the CEO mindset. This person is always one chapter ahead. They're not just firefighting, they're preventing the fires from even starting. For them, time isn't this scarce thing that's always slipping away. It's an asset, something to be invested. And that's the key. It is a complete shift in perspective. You're moving from a life on defense, just dodging whatever gets thrown at you, to finally playing offense. You are proactively building that surplus of focus, that buffer that prepares you for whatever's coming next, both the good and the bad. All right, this all sounds great, I get it, but how do we actually do it? How do we make this real? Let's get into the practical stuff. I'm talking two powerful hands-on tools you can start using literally today. So, tool number one is something we're calling active recall for professionals. You might actually remember this idea from your school days. See, most of us just consume information. We just pour it into our brains and hope some of it sticks. Active recall is the opposite. It's like you're actively trying to pull an idea out of your brain. And it's that act of retrieving the information that really cements your understanding and gets you ready for the real world. So here's how this looks at work. First up, predict. Before your next big meeting, just ask yourself, what are the three hardest questions my boss could possibly ask me? And then you actually prepare the answers. Second, summarize. Try explaining your project's main goal to a friend who works in a totally different department. If you can't explain it simply, you might not get it as well as you think. And finally, question. Instead of just nodding along with the plan, actively hunt for its weak spots. Where could this all go wrong? Because figuring that out now, that's how you prevent fires later. And that leads us perfectly into our second tool. We call it the one chapter ahead logic. Now this is the beating heart of that proactive mindset. It's all about intentionally thinking one step beyond what's on your plate right now. You're not just getting today's work done. You're already setting up next week for a huge win. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, don't wait for your manager to ask for that report. Have a draft sitting there ready to go. As one project phase is winding down, you're already outlining the kickoff for the next one. And oh, here's the big one. Think about a skill that's going to be crucial for your career in, say, 6 months, and start learning it now, on your own time. Every single one of these actions is like making a deposit into your time fund. So you start using these tools. You build this new mindset. You're making these little deposits into your time emergency fund. What's the ROI on all this effort? Let's talk about the payout, because it is absolutely massive and it will fundamentally change the way you work. I mean, look at this. The payout is huge. First off, you get so much more control over your own schedule and your stress levels, because you're just not a victim of the unexpected anymore. And with that control comes real freedom, the actual mental space to think, to be creative, to learn new things. And when you put control and freedom together, the natural outcome is accelerated success. You just become that person, the one who's always ready, always reliable, and always one step ahead of everyone else. In the end, it really boils down to this one powerful idea: learning to focus like a CEO. It's not about grinding harder or working more hours until you burn out. It's the total opposite. It's a strategy. It's a shortcut. By investing your focus proactively,
You create a much faster, much less stressful path to whatever it is you want to achieve.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question. Don't worry about trying to change everything all at once. That's not the point. Just think about one thing. What is the very first deposit you're going to make into your time fund? Maybe it's just taking 15 minutes today to think about the questions for tomorrow's meeting. Whatever it is, that one small, proactive step, that's where it all begins.